Spring is just around the corner, and for the home staging industry, that typically means things are about to get busy. So in this episode, we're covering 3 things you can do to get your business ready. Welcome back to Foxy TV. Now, before we get into our main topic, I'm going to quickly announce the winner of last week's Foxy Face Off between Bianca and Ebony.
Ebony v Bianca.
There's a lot of hostility between these two today. Yes, there is. Thank you to everyone who voted. It was interesting to see how voting differed from platform to platform. And it was Instagram stories that really won it for today's winner. So a big congratulations to Ebony for taking out last week's Foxy Face Off. So thank you to everyone who voted and watched. And of course to Bianca and Ebony for playing along. Stick around to the end of the episode as I have an install to show you, but it is now time to jump into today's main topic. And that is 3 things you can do to get your business ready for a busy spring. So you're going to hear from Phoebe and Jake on what Foxy Home Staging has done to get ready, but also what you can do to get your business ready. And we've broken it down into 3 sections: furniture or stock, the team or staffing, and communication. What does it look like for us to be getting ready for spring when it comes to stock and furniture?
Well, simple answer is we try and get more. We know that every spring we hit new record numbers in terms of the number of installs that we're doing, the number of houses out, so really we're trying to preempt what we know is coming. A couple of ways we do that is, one, Phoebe's just buying as she sees the need for it, but also, well, actually 3 things. One is end of the financial year, tax financial year, Phoebe goes a bit crazy with purchasing, and that's partly, if we're going to buy it over the next few months anyway, you may as well buy it and get the tax deduction in the previous year. So she's buying for that reason, but there is a bit of an eye to spring when she does that, given we're only, we're months away. There's also a lot of the newer stock, so the new season stuff that starts to become available. So when we're getting ready for spring, Phoebe's put in a lot of orders. We get a lot of stuff, like we've still got stuff arriving. We've had a lot of new things arrive. But there's some of the stuff that she's already ordered that isn't intended to get here for another month or 2, so kind of right in the middle of spring. So ideally you'd have it all up front, but the new season stuff isn't always available. So knowing that we have a couple of furniture boosts, I guess, of new stuff coming right in the middle of spring is another way to kind of keep it fresh, make sure we've got enough stock. So yeah, really it's about having the levels of stock either before you get to that point, or I guess both, have the new stuff coming during spring as well.
Start thinking about it early. So have a look and see your suppliers. Not everyone uses the same suppliers. See when they have their drop of their new release. Most of them sort of stick around the trade fair timing. Get onto it early, get to go to their release nights that they have, so that you can be first in, best dressed on those things. Like we went down to Albi to try and get that stock first before it sold out, or have to get in a second shipping container. So those sorts of things, get in onto it early. I
guess it's having a decent idea of your numbers is important. So knowing, are you going to have enough for you? This is probably a little easier if you've had a couple of years in business, because you can get an idea of, or you will have an idea of what your previous springs looked like in terms of, comparing. So for us, as an example, this spring, or every spring so far, gives me an idea that this spring we're going to hit these new record numbers. So without us doing anything too crazy on top of what we're already doing in terms of our marketing and everything else, we know that this spring we'll have more houses out than we ever had. And so for us, we know that means we need more stock. So knowing your numbers, knowing that if it's going to be a big spring, that means for you need to have a high level of furniture. Starting to think about when to place those orders, who or supplier-wise, who you should go with, and their lead times and all those sorts of things. So yeah, just having a bit of a plan. So firstly, building the team. So we've been doing that throughout the year anyway. So from the start of 2022, we've brought on, we've probably nearly doubled the team. Not quite, but getting close to those sort of numbers. So we're building out the team in terms of capacity, so we got more people in the truck, we got more stylists, more people in the admin, helping Phoebe with emails and phone calls and bookkeeping, and the marketing team and all those sorts of things. So building out the team is a pretty, I guess, easy answer, obvious answer. Second part of that is training and making sure that people are capable leading into spring. So we've been building the team with enough lead time, knowing that while we're busy now, spring will take it to another level. So we need the people who are here to have already gone through, at least a period of training, a few months worth of seeing what we do and how we do it.
So we're a bit differently. We have all of our staff are full-time. So for us, for a lot of other stylists, that's a scary notion to preemptively bring on a staff member who is a full-time staff member and not necessarily have the work there just yet. For me, it's a bit of a no-brainer. So I see right now, we're doing about, on average, 5 installs happening every day, which means 5, probably 4 pack-ups are happening every day. The girls are coming back and they are having to work and they're going to have to work from 8 till 4. They're flat chat from 8 till 4. Some days they're here till 5. That indicates to me I need another person. I need another staff member to help tie them over, particularly during spring, because I don't want them to all have to do crazy overtime. And that also saves me from going out to allow me to do all the other stuff in between and logistics. I'm always the fail-safe. But if I'm used, that means I need another staff member. So that is the great indication. Same as the truck. So Jake's out in the truck again today. We have a staff member off. Yesterday we had a staff member sick. Russ is off on Thursday. He needs to get in the truck. That's not what we need. We need him here assembling the furniture. So I've got plenty enough furniture going out on site. As soon as we start using our backups, that's an indication to me I need to get some more staff in. Potentially
Difficult for some businesses who are maybe a little bit smaller, maybe don't feel confident to bring on people full-time, knowing that spring will go crazy, but then it will be busy, but then maybe you hit December and you don't need those people. So it is an overhead. You're committing to somebody a salary that maybe you don't see the longer term need for. We've always brought people on full time knowing that we have an ambition to grow and that we will need those people longer term anyway. For some businesses who might not see the growth or might not want to grow beyond that, I think it's about knowing your options if it's a shorter term decision or thing that you need to cover. So is it contractors? Is it people you've worked with before? Is it getting, maybe it's a part-time person or talking to the people that you have about ramping up over a period of time. So again, I think it's about knowing your options beforehand so that when you get in the middle of spring and you desperately need someone, you already know where to turn as opposed to trying to figure it out as you're going, because then that's where mistakes get made. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is communication and the way that we, kind of the process of communicating with a new client or with an agent and how we go from that initial contact all the way through to the install and beyond that, and the pack up and asking for feedback and all those sorts of things. So having a good idea. So this is not something we were probably great at in the first few years, and it's not until we've had some more people in the admin team come on that we've really gotten better at this and making sure that we're communicating all of, even the daily stuff, like, so the next, tomorrow, all of the jobs that we have locked in, which is about 5, I think, at this stage, we're already communicating to make sure that they know what time we're planning on being there, making sure we know what the access is like, whether we're picking up keys or whether there'll be somebody there to let us in, all those sorts of things. When you get busy, those are the things that are very easy to get wrong or to miss or to run out of time to do properly, and it just makes everything a lot harder. Yeah, so basically we've had some clients who are booking in for September, October. Those clients, different to what we do during the rest of the period of the year, we actually take a lock-in deposit from those clients. When we are so full, it really makes it difficult for clients to switch around a couple of days, or the impact of them cancelling because they're sold off market, which is awesome and fantastic for them. However, the ripple effect it has for us is quite significant. So it's educating those clients as well as taking that lock-in deposit that really helps the consistency, making sure that our schedule doesn't change so everybody else isn't impacted by one job changing. Spring's always busy. When we actually hire a person, in that initial interview, we always have a discussion. So we have something called Rebalance Leave. It's a day that we give the staff an extra day off every month to account for the extra work that they are doing during our busy periods. We try to balance it out. We have a life outside of the business. We want our staff to as well. It's about communicating that, making sure that they are taking that day off, making sure that they are working efficiently and effectively, making sure that they're working really, really well as a team and not necessarily having to come back at the end of the day when someone else is here and could have done something for them.
Thank you, Jake and Phoebe, and thanks to Rick from Get Stage Newcastle for today's question. To finish this week's episode, let's go to an install in the inner city suburb of New Farm.
We went for black screens, just to try and keep it in with a bit of like the fixtures and fittings and all that sort of stuff, and a bit more retro as well. The stairs were a killer. It was a right burner going up and down them, but lucky we had quite a few of us on site, so it was okay. And then other than that, it came together really well.
Thanks for watching Foxy TV. We'll see you back here next week.